Geelong radio ratings are out and local radio is the big winner. Let's look at what's working for K-Rock and Bay FM on today's Quarter Hour podcast. Well, hi and welcome to the Quarter Hour podcast, hosted by Wade Kingsley. Wade is on assignment and has asked me to be your guest host. My name's Liam Renton, and today we're unpacking the recent Geelong radio survey ratings. And it's a good one for K-Rock and Bay 93.9. They dominated the first survey for Geelong this year. Both powerhouse stations, heaps of market heritage, and local radio in Geelong is up over the 50% mark. So more than half the city listen to local radio, which is up from 41% from the last survey. Now, K-Rock is the number one station in town on 17.8, and just behind them is Bay FM, both from the same stable at number 2 with 17.1. Next most listened is ABC Melbourne with 8.4% of the audience. And joining us to talk about the Geelong ratings, he's just been through it, is Guy Mylecharane from, now I'm going to say from both, are you from K-Rock or K-Rock and Bay FM? Where do you align yourself?
I align myself with Bay because I'm also the music director of Bay as well.
There you go. Welcome to the podcast. Good result for Geelong. Congratulations.
Oh, mate, thank you. We are stoked. A good result for local radio as well. We've all put in a lot of hard work. I mean, I know everyone says that for a survey, but we really haven't. Yeah, we are absolutely stoked.
Just back it up for a second. Where were you before you hit Geelong? You've been there for a little while now. Where have you worked?
Coming up to 2 years in Geelong. I'm 18 years in radio. I started at Eagle FM 2Gen in Goulburn in 2008, moved all around the place, and I was 8 years at the Albury Hub before moving to Geelong.
Yeah, so you know all about networking. There's a lot of networking that comes out of that building. How is it now moving into a solo market where you're just working on one or two stations?
Yeah, look, it's been great, but it was a challenge because I was networked for so long, so I was very good at being generic. Like, I couldn't even talk about the AFL or the NRL because I was going into 3 different states. So it probably took me 6 months to find my feet and just share and, I guess, open up and share a little bit more of myself, even though I'm a workday announcer. They really encourage that here to form that local connection.
What did you guys do in Geelong? What was your survey tactics? What did you do?
The main big one that we did here at Bay, which was just fantastic and cut through, we actually extended it because it was going so well, was Geelong is feeling good. So everyone's going through tough times at the moment, price of fuel, interest rates. So people would just email us with sometimes pretty heartbreaking stories, people not having long to live, cancer, and we would just do what we could to make them feel good, whether that was a weekend away or sometimes it was just going to a cafe and putting the boss's credit card over the counter and shouting everyone their coffee. So little things, small things, but it really cut through. And we did a lot on a local level too on socials. So really, again, focusing on Geelong and the town and the outer suburbs and making everyone feel good as we can.
I love hearing little stats like the fact that your team made some behind-the-scenes changes, some little tweaks along the way. So what you're doing, local music now, was that different in surveys gone past?
Yeah, it was. It's been 4 years between surveys. I wasn't here for the last one, but since Grant Broadcasters got broken up, most of it sold to ARN, but they couldn't sell Geelong because of the 3 market reach rules. So in the past, I believe we had K-Rock's music coming from River 949 and Bay's was coming from Hot Tomato. The last survey was very different. Yeah,
well, so tell me about that because, there's merit in a generic log. I mean, people like mostly the same songs. You reckon Geelong locals like things just a little differently? What's the favourite bands in Geelong?
Look, there was sort of a crossover too between the 2 stations. So we were getting a lot of crossover, whereas now we've sort of redefined our lanes and our music strategy and we surveyed the market. We've got Bay servicing the 40-plus end female skew and K-Rock the bottom end of the 40-plus female skew. So there's a mixture of people, but we're targeting the 45-year-old female with the 2 kids, I suppose, would be our target listener. And, the music, local, in-house and servicing the market, that's made a huge difference as well as the foundation of the station.
Geelong's one of those unique markets. It's a bit like, Sunny Coast, Gold Coast, Wollongong, where you've got the big cap city half an hour, 45 minutes up the road. There's a lot of choice for your listeners, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. Melbourne absolutely booms in. So the one advantage we have over everyone else, particularly in the workday, is to be as local as we can. So Fox, Triple M, get in here loud and clear. They can't jump on air and say hello to Dave at George's Pizza Shop. I'll pick my supreme up there tonight. I mean, they could, but it'd sound a bit weird, whereas we can really lean into that, just those simple little things to make people know that we're right here in their own backyard.
Talk to me about localism. So what does local look like for Bay FM? How does it look?
I've been, I actually got in trouble as a funny story. I'm not in trouble. I recently had my baby shower and I'm, as I said, sharing a lot more of my self on air, and I actually said where it was, and we did actually have a listener pop up out the front, which I didn't know about until later. So it was harmless. He went away. But, rather than just saying, oh, we're on, Marrable Street, saying we're on, we'll catch you down behind the fish and chip shop, which is, adjacent to the bollards. Those local landmarks that people know and love, that makes people know that you're here and you're in town and you're not getting piped in from a big city or the other side of the country.
Let's talk a bit more about that survey for a minute. What's working, do you think, for Geelong broadcasters? What's the secret sauce?
Being local, being connected, and just really being Geelong loudly and proudly. Like Geelong, again, is an interesting market because you've got people that have grown up here, but then you've got a lot of people that are moving from Melbourne, escaping the rat race. So I think it's sort of a country town but a city at the same time, which I imagine other markets like the Gold Coast and the Sunny Coast are as well. You've sort of got that mix of people that have grown up here, so you want to service them and make sure that they're local, but you don't want to alienate them with things from the 80s that people who haven't grown up here that don't actually know about.
So K-Rock number 1 on 17.8, Bay number 2, 17.1. Anything surprise you about those numbers?
I think what honestly surprised me was how strong Bay was on the weekends, because we're music and we're local and we don't have the football. But no, I think everybody was where they needed to be. We're in our lanes and we're not crossing over into each other's listenership, which I think we were in the past with the music formats that were crossing over.
Both Brekkie teams have gone up. Tom and Loggy on K-Rock went up 7.3 and Mill and Nick went up 6.4. They're pretty good jumps.
Mate, they're amazing. And we've been getting out and about in the community as much as we can. It works. People just getting that talk about factor, and yeah, it's huge compared to last survey, which I wasn't here for, but I think they've really made a push about getting out, talking to people and connecting and being as local as they can. And I believe that's where the difference is. But of course, I'm probably a little bit biased.
Mate, correct my maths, but 47% unaccounted for in that survey. What's your take on that?
51% of local people are tuning into Geelong local radio, whereas last survey that number was a fair bit lower. So I think we focus on the growth and look at the positives.
Oh, it's absolutely positive. But where do you reckon they've gone then? Obviously, Melbourne stations is the only other place they'd get their radio listening. Wouldn't that be the case?
Possibly. It's a scattergun approach. Maybe it could be online as well. We're not sure, but yeah, I think we've got to focus on where the local audience is coming from. But I'd say if they are Melbourne stations, the other percentage that's left over, there'd only be little bits and pieces of each. So I don't think there's one Melbourne station dominating over the local ones. So
locally, you've got over 50% of the market. Why do you reckon Geelong prefers its local radio stations?
That is a very good question. I mean, doing networking for so long, I think it can sound a little bit robotic because you can't bring that warmth and that realism into it. You can't sort of jump online when you network and go, how about that local sports team? Whereas here you can, again, say I was down at Leopold Oval on the weekend, so the Leopold line take on the other team. I think it's because we live here. I think that would be, people know that we live here, they see us in the pub, and I believe that makes a difference.
I mean, that's a good point, living in market, because anyone can jump online and get a couple of street names. You reckon the secret is that for local engagement? I mean, knowing where the servo's got cheap petrol, knowing where the best pie in town is, like literally knowing, not just reading it online.
100%, and I think these days people can smell fakers. They're pretty attuned. They know where their shows are coming from. They can jump online and work it out pretty quickly. So being real and being local, not faking it if you're not local, I think, which is also important too. But if you are celebrating that fact and flying the flag.
Mate, you've got two stations there in Geelong. They're working in tandem together. What are your biggest threats, do you think, for Geelong broadcasters?
I think the Melbourne stations could be a threat because obviously we're playing very similar music. They can play the same music as us. They've probably got more money to spend on promotions and prizes, although I will say that we've heavily invested this survey into local promos and tactics, and I think local radio done well is a force to be reckoned with. But just making sure that we're staying real and relevant in people's minds and making sure we be as local as we can, keep putting in that work and keep trumpeting the message of being local, because we're in a pretty special situation here. Like, I've worked at a lot of different stations in radio over my time, and there's over 30 staff here, which is just unheard of in other smaller stations. So investing in the products, investing in the market and doing it well is paying off in dividends. Like, sales are doing great here. Everything's sponsored, and it sounds better on the air too. When you've got segments sponsored, you can say hello to Judy at Raiders Bingo or whoever the clients are. And again, it's just really that local connection, which is it was an adjustment for me, just being network and being generic, but it's taken me probably 6 months for it to become natural. Before, it was something I really had to work in, but now it's becoming second nature, which is great.
Mate, next survey rolls around, who knows when. Where can you improve? Or have you already identified some spots where you go, you know what, we could probably tweak that and maybe even do that just a little better?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, music-wise, I think we can pay a little bit of attention to down the road, checking the research and the spins to make sure that we are playing the music that needs to be played. But also, probably just getting out and market more would be my take on it. Of course, I'm not a programmer. I'm the music director in the job, but I want to try and embed myself in the community as much as possible. I mean, last year, bought a house here, got married, and about to have a baby. So I'm Geelong, here to stay.
Congratulations. You've seen the numbers. You dominate over 50% of the market between two stations. What are you most proud of?
Myself personally, making that leap back to local. I was very comfortable at the Albury Hub. I loved working at the Albury Hub. We punched well above our weight up there. There was probably only 3 or 4 of us running the whole network, but I'd sort of hit the ceiling. Also, being a Melbourne boy, it was nice to get back locally, but I think just shaking it up, it'd be easy to stay somewhere because you were comfortable and you loved the job. But I thought, no, I need a challenge. I'd like to try something else. So I think, picking something up that was uncomfortable to start with, like anything when we learn new things. But I'm also just proud of the team. I think we've got a great staff here. They all work very, very hard, as everyone in radio does. But yeah, I think we have honestly put in the hard work, and I think it's paid off for us.
What do you reckon Geelong locals care about the most? Like, what's the one thing that everyone talks about? They stop you in the street and say, "Oh, what do you think about this?" What's the big touch point in Geelong?
Probably the Cats, mate. The Geelong Cats in the AFL is huge. But yeah, also too, just cost of living for a lot of people. Our heartland is probably in some of the poorer areas of Geelong. Like, we also did a competition where we managed to get a family from Corio into the President's dinner at the GMHBA Stadium for the Cats, and this lady was just crying in tears. She thought I'd never have the opportunity to do this ever. So it's making those small things, which you might think don't mean much to some people, but can mean the world to others.
Not to give too much away, but what can we expect from Geelong broadcasters in the next 12 months?
That is a good question. I think just focusing on what works, and I'm not privy to the closed door meetings, but I think more investment in the radio station, the technologies, making sure our equipment and everything just continues to evolve. They're doing some wonderful things in the football space. Carrick football guys have got a little podcast studio happening, so they'll be able to film some of their footy podcasts as well. So just making sure we stay evolved and connected into the sort of the evolution of where radio is going. Like, audio is still important, and that's still our core business, but you got to make sure that you're staying ahead of the pack with all the evolving technologies that are going on.
Mate, give your shift a plug. When can we hear you on the radio?
Oh, thank you, mate. Number one work days. There's a little humble brag.
There you go. Own it.
9 till 2 at 93.9 FM, and also we've got the Bay 93.9 app, so you can download that for free, Google Play or the Apple App Store, and take us with you wherever you go. I've said that a few times. Well,
mate, congrats on the success to both your teams, both at Bay FM and K-Rock. It's a cracking market, Geelong, and thanks for joining us, Guy, on the Quarter Hour podcast.
Thank you, Liam. Appreciate the opportunity, and long live local radio.